Oh, good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Maggie King. I am the Associate Director of Admission and Financial Aid here at Sacred Heart. Thank you so much for joining us today for our middle school student roundtable discussion. Our goal today is really to introduce you to the community members who are truly at the heart of the Sacred Heart experience, and that would be our students. You know, during a typical admission season, you would have had a chance to meet some of our students already, whether it was at our open houses or tour days or during your daughter's class visiting day. However, since we can't invite you to our campus this fall to visit us, what we want to do today is we want to bring our student voices to you at home. I'm joined today by Dave Olson, who is our head of middle school, and we'll be joined by Lisa Weinman, who is our middle school dean of students. They will facilitate a conversation with some of our fantastic middle school students. But feel free to drop any questions into the chat. We want this really to be a conversation that not only tells you about life at Sacred Heart, but really answers any questions that you might have that you want the student perspective on. If you're viewing at home, I would suggest that you switch your view to gallery view, just so you can kind of see everyone all at the same time. And now we're going to have today's panelists introduce themselves. So Mr. Olson and Mrs. Weinman, take it away, and then maybe we can have our students introduce themselves to the audience.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Mrs. King. Welcome, everyone. It's so good to see everybody this afternoon on Election Day. It's a big day for us at Sacred Heart, big day for us in this country. We are so happy you're with us. Our hope is to be able to provide some voices to our students so you can understand the Sacred Heart experience better. So what we're going to do, girls, we're going to want you to introduce yourselves. So give us your first name, what grade you're in, what grade you came to Sacred Heart in, where you live, and your favorite thing about Sacred Heart. A lot of questions there. Annalise, you're up first.
Okay, my name is Annalise Almonacci. I came to Sacred Heart in 6th grade, and I am in 6th grade. I live in Greenwich, and one of the things I really like about Sacred Heart is the uniform. It's one of my favorite parts.
The uniform. It's simple, right, Annalise? Awesome. Annalise, what school did you attend before Sacred Heart?
I attended Julian Curtis.
Awesome. All right, Grace McEwen, you're up.
Hi, my name is Grace McEwen. I came to Sacred Heart in 5th grade, and I'm in 5th grade right now. I live in Darien, Connecticut, and one of the things I like about Sacred Heart is the sports.
Awesome. Grace, where'd you go to school before Sacred Heart?
St. Aloysius in New Canaan.
Very cool. Hazel, you out there?
Yes, Mr. Olson.
Hazel, tell us your story.
Hi, my name is Hazel Carrion. I came here in 1st grade and I'm in 8th grade now. And I live in Port Chester, and my favorite thing about Sacred Heart is how they incorporate everyone's hobbies.
Awesome. Hazel, where'd you go to school in kindergarten? Do you remember?
Yeah, I went to Corpus Christi, a local school.
Yeah, right down in Port Chester. That's great. All right, Vivian.
Hi, my name is Vivian Monopoly. This is my 2nd year at Sacred Heart. I came in 7th grade and now I'm in 8th grade. I live in Larchmont, and my favorite thing about Sacred Heart is we have a really big community here, and it's all very loving and everyone supports each other. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Vivian. All right, Catherine.
Hi, my name's Catherine Petrillo. This is my 1st year at Sacred Heart. So I came in 5th grade and I'm in 5th grade. My favorite thing about Sacred Heart is probably the sports, and yeah.
All right, very cool. Thanks, Catherine. Hey, one of the things we want to get across to our attendees is the uniqueness of attending a Sacred Heart school, which is an all-girls school and a faith-based school. So, girls, I want you to think a little bit about first the all-girls piece, and either share something that's either really unique about going to an all-girls school, something you really love about going to an all-girls school, and then some of the different activities that you've been involved in, whether they're athletics or robotics or the middle school musical or writing for the school newspaper or whatever. Who wants to go first? All right, Vivian, you're up.
I think it's awesome to be in an all-girls school. I came from public school before, so it was co-ed, and it's we're very supporting, as I said before, and I've participated in the athletics and the winter musical. So it's a lot of teamwork here, and it's really it's good being in an all girls school. I like it.
Vivian, can you really name what's different between your co-ed middle school and all-girls middle school?
I think I went to public school before, so there was like 20 to 25 kids in a class. And now we have like the minimum is probably like 6 kids in a class. And like the biggest amount I had is probably like 16. So it's a lot more one-on-one with the teachers. And I think that's better. It gives me a better opportunity and better learning. And that's one of the main differences I noticed.
Great. Do you think being in an all-girls school, with obviously without boys, that it's easier to concentrate and easier to be yourself?
I think so. It's easier to express yourself around girls that are just like you and that are different too. And like, it's like we're all best friends here. So, yeah.
Awesome. Sounds like utopia. That sounds pretty cool. Who else wants to share their thoughts on going to an all-girls school? Hazel.
I think going to an all-girls school is so great because of the comfort that we build. And it's not just like of being all girls, it's just the community here. There's no judgment, and like it's a space that we were created to make mistakes, and like mistakes are valued and they're learned from at Sacred Heart. And an activity that I've participated in is Hearts Together, which I really like. And we talk about like different current events going on, and we talk about like women's rights and like a bunch of equality stuff that's like really useful in like outside of Sacred Heart. So we take our like learning everywhere.
Awesome. And just so everyone knows, Hazel's referring to Hearts Together, which is one of our groups that helps support equity, diversity, and inclusion at Sacred Heart. And Hazel, talk a little bit more about your ability to completely express yourself and be yourself. And
well, I've brought up Sacred Heart and like everything I've learned here. I learn something new every day, which is one of my favorite parts of being here. And I take it to me everywhere. And I've taught a lot of people, like my family, for example, they also learn something new every day with me because of like I take everything that I learn like out there, and it just gives me more strength to like talk about what I'm passionate about and like be more diverse and like understand differences and value them, and how important it is to like not just be the same, like kind of what Vivi said, like we're all different, but we're also like very supportive.
awesome, Hazel, that's said beautifully. Who else wants to share about going to an all-girls school? Annalise, what are you thinking?
Going to an all-girls school is like really nice, and there's a big community. Like I used to be like really scared to try new things, but like when I tried new things, it like felt good, and I felt like I could do it. And everyone was like really nice and talking to me like, yeah, you could do it. And like when I fell one day in soccer, they were like, okay, come on, Annalise, and like we still had a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And Annalise, you've been at Sacred Heart for 2.5 months, right?
Yes.
Was it hard to break in socially, or was it kind of easy? What was it like for you?
It was kind of easy because everyone was really welcoming. Like when I didn't know where to go, everyone was like, oh yeah, you get to follow us. And like everyone told me like little tips, like you could leave your backpack in like your homeroom. And it was really nice.
Awesome. Thanks, Annalise. Who else wants to share about what it's like to go to an all-girls school? Catherine, how's it been for you?
Been really great. I really like it here. I like having all girls because I have a brother who's a little bit annoying. So it is great to spend all day with girls. And yeah.
Awesome. And Catherine, you're brand new to Sacred Heart also. What was it like for you coming new to Sacred Heart?
Well, I knew a few girls and all their friends were like welcoming and they were all really nice to me. And now I'm like really good friends with all of them. And it's really nice to have such good welcoming people at this school.
Awesome. And Catherine, you mentioned your annoying brother, and not to put your brother on the spot, because probably everybody who has a brother finds them to be annoying in some way. Did you find coming to Sacred Heart without the boys that it was a different type of feeling? And what was that like for you?
Well, it was a different type of feeling because there's just all girls and there's not both girls and boys, but I just like it better, and having boys too is sometimes nice, but I like all girls better.
All right, so do we. Awesome. Hey, Grace, any thoughts about an all-girls school?
Yeah, I like it because like I used to go to a co-ed school, but like it was kind of like an all-girls school because like at my school it was really small. Like we had one class per grade and I had 16 kids in my grade, but we only had like 2 boys in our class. So it was kind of like an all-girls school, I like but I like it better when it's like fully all girls because like it's kind of easier to like be yourself around like all girls. And like yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, Vivian and Hazel, I'm thinking about your perspective and something that Grace just said about it's easier to be yourself. And you guys, as being a little bit older and more mature, can you give like concrete examples of how you feel okay to be yourself?
I've definitely noticed that I could just run around the school dancing and not be laughed at. So that's concrete evidence.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
I mean, like we just break into songs sometimes at study hall, and it's just like it's a family here. That's what's amazing about Sacred Heart. It's like it's not just like your teachers and like your classmates. It's like you build a bond like that's eternal. And I just know that like when I leave Sacred Heart, like it's still gonna be in my heart like forever. But it's easier to express yourself. Like I know people who are afraid of like saying their opinions, like if they're like slightly controversial, or like even if they don't know about certain things that we're talking about. Like I know like most people aren't afraid to just ask like, wait, what are we talking about? Like and it's like the inclusion, and like as we're growing up, we're like going through more things that we can all relate to, and it's like just make bonds that just last forever.
Awesome. That's beautiful, Hazel. Hey, Vivian, how much time do you spend each morning thinking about what you're going to wear to school?
None. I just put on the skirt, put on the top, and go.
Best thing in the
Ready
world.
for the
isn't it?
bus.
Awesome. Love it. Super simple. All right. Hey, let's move on to what it's like to go to a Catholic school. So I want you to think about what, especially for our girls that have just come to Sacred Heart, and Vivian, you'll count in this too, because you've only been here a year and a half. What are the difference you've noticed from your old school to coming to a Catholic school? And then talk a little bit about how you've maybe grown in your faith at Sacred Heart. Grace, you're coming from another Catholic school, right? So not a huge difference. How about Catherine and Annalise? You guys came from non-Catholic schools, correct?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So basically, in my old school, nobody really like cared about God and Jesus and everything. I really think it's better to like pray every morning and like have chapels and stuff because my family is very religious, and in my old school we didn't really talk about that, and we only usually did it like on Sundays, and now we do it every day, and I really think it's great.
That's cool. Hey, Catherine, when you mentioned that we pray every day, how does that set you up to start your day if there's a prayer every day?
What really helps me sometimes, like they're motivational prayers, and and sometimes if I'm like nervous if there's a test that day, I could just like calm down because we pray mostly every morning.
Awesome. Do you think it affects how you interact with people and how kind you are to people?
Yeah, because sometimes the prayers are like about like kindness and stuff like you just said. And so sometimes like I think about it, and then like it helps me like with my friends and everything if I was not being kind the day before.
Beautiful. Oh, that's fantastic. Annalise, I'm curious to hear your perspective. You came from a non-Catholic school, and I don't believe you're Catholic. Is that true?
Yes, I'm not Catholic.
Yeah. So what's it like for you?
It's actually good because like we like everyone kind of believes like all kind of the same thing. Not like all the same, but like it's like you have an understanding of what they're doing. So like it's like you kind of connect to that, and like it like excuse me, sorry. But like it kind of makes you like feel like you're in like a little family still, because like even though you don't do the exact same thing, it's like you guys all have the same understanding.
Beautiful. Yeah. Same understanding. We're going to be good to each other. So Annalise, as a non-Catholic, was it ever weird for you? Like, hey, I don't understand how they're praying or what's happening in chapel or a liturgy, or did you just sort of figure that out?
It was really confusing. I kind of understand it a little bit. I mean, sometimes I get a little confused, but like, it's not a lot confused.
Awesome. Vivian, you're coming from a non-Catholic school, right?
Yes, I
What's it been
am.
like for you?
It's different because we have a class about like a religion class, theology, and it's like learning a new subject for me because I don't come from a very religious family, so it's like learning a new subject for me, and like and it's helpful for me because like when we pray and when we go to chapel, like sometimes I don't understand everything, so there's people around me that can help that.
So Vivian, talk a little bit more about that. How do you think that's helped you grow as a young woman?
We pray, like we pray every day, and it sets me in like a mode to like accomplish stuff and like be positive, and like it's like sets a different outlook on my day than if I didn't do that.
That's beautiful. Thanks, Vivian. Hey, Mrs. Weinman, you want to jump in and start asking some community related questions?
Awesome. So the community is one of my favorite aspects of Sacred Heart. And I agree with what a lot of you all have said in regards to how awesome it is that we can all be ourselves here. So I guess I'm kind of curious, would you guys share a little bit about, what you love about the Sacred Heart community? Or you could even talk a little bit about like how you would describe it, kind of like, how would you describe us as a community, or what do you love about it? You can kind of pick either side of that question, whatever is most appealing to you. Hazel, what do you think? What do you love about Sacred Heart, or how would you describe us as a whole?
Well, I think Sacred Heart has helped me like feel more empowered of myself, and like it's helped me like include more people and things. And like I come from a Hispanic family. We're from like a small country named Ecuador in South America, and like I know that I've like a lot of my friends like know more about it because of it. And like the school is just like, as I said, a big family of like different people, but our differences is what makes us. And like that's the beauty of Sacred Heart. It's the diversity that we have, and like the ability to understand different people, and like back to like faith, like how I think prayer is a reflection. So like it's just like reflecting on your day and how that affects you, and like everyone's just so inclusive, and like the prayers that just like spread around, like kindness just like or surrounds this building.
Awesome. Well said. That's beautiful, Hazel. What about you, Vivian? What do you think? What do you love about the community?
I think we're accepting and supporting and tons of different things that every young girl needs to grow and become a strong woman. And I think that's the best part of our Sacred Heart community, because we can't do it by ourselves. We need a whole team. So that's what everyone at the Sacred Heart community does.
Do you feel like a team, like we all work to support each other?
Yeah.
Together?
And like it helps us grow from one another. And like Hazel said, we're all very different, and that's also what helps us grow and helps us see different perspectives. And I think that's another thing that the Sacred Heart community does.
Awesome. Awesome. What about you, Grace?
I like the community because it's like we're all like a big family. Like if someone has like a problem, like if someone in a grade has like a problem, everyone else in the grade will like talk to them and like help them with it. And like if like it's a problem with like a classmate, they can just go to like Mrs. Weinman's office and like talk to her about it, and then it can just get fixed. And then yeah.
Awesome. So like challenges do come up, right? Because we're all human beings, but it sounds like people feel cared about, right? And that you can ask people for help, right, Grace?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, Catherine.
I feel like even though I've only been here for like a month and a half or like 2 months, I feel like they're all like my sisters, and like if something happens, like they'll be there for me, and like everyone's like always there, and no one will ever be like against me, and like just like Grace said, we could always come talk to you, and you'll always help us.
Thank you. What about you, Annalise?
Like what Catherine was saying, it's like so you can grow a lot, and then like let's say you just like make a mistake or something, like the people here, like all the girls, they will help you, and like they'd be like, it's okay, they'll like pick you back up again, and you can just like keep growing.
I love that. I love that phrase, pick you back up again, right? And it's kind of what Vivian was talking about, and that we're a team. It's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, Catherine.
Also, coming from like a family where I don't have any sisters, like it's so great to come to this school because I feel like just like I said before, like I feel like they're my sisters, so I could like talk to them about anything and everything.
Awesome. That's so much fun. I love when girls can talk about everything and what did you say? Anything and everything.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, now I wanted to talk a little bit about leadership. And I think what my favorite parts about Sacred Heart is they're all different kinds of leaders and they're all different kinds of opportunities for leadership. So I was kind of hoping that you guys would share about how you think, opportunities that you've had to be leaders and what does leadership mean at Sacred Heart? So like, have you felt like a leader? How do you feel that you can be a leader, or what are opportunities that you have to show people who you are and to lead?
Well, first of all, like we just had, it's like kind of funny because this year's the election, and then we also had the student council elections like a few weeks ago. And I know like a lot of people ran, goes back to Sacred Heart, how like we're not afraid to make mistakes because obviously like 9 people ran for president and there can only be one. And like we still like took that shot, and it was incredible how many people ran. I'm pretty sure like I'm not sure, Miss Weinman, the exact number, but there were like a lot of people that ran. We filled the whole side of the gym of people, of candidates. And it's like you're not afraid to run for those things, and you're not afraid to be a leader. And it's encouraged. And even if you don't get the leadership spot on the student council, there's like so many more opportunities. Like I know I ran for president and I didn't win, but Morgan won. But she's going to be a really good president, and I know that there's still more opportunities of leadership. Like I know Hearts Together, we always do like organizations and like speeches in Friday morning gatherings to like talk more about things that are important to us and how we can like show them to the rest of the middle school.
Awesome. Really well said, Hazel. There were 42 people ran for the student council positions out of 73. Isn't that amazing? Thank you, Hazel. Catherine.
Like Hazel was saying, like if like you want to run for like president or anything, and if you didn't win, like and everyone like supports you like with being a leader, and like they wouldn't like get jealous that you were like that you wanted to be like in that position.
Mm-hmm. Are there other ways, do you think, Catherine, to be a leader at Sacred Heart? How could you be a leader in the classroom, do you think?
Well, like you could like if like I don't really know.
All right, I'll come back to you. What do you think, Vivian? What are you thinking about leadership at Sacred Heart?
I think we all get a lot of opportunities to be a leader in the classroom. We do projects by ourselves and we speak up about like current events. We choose for science, we choose like global warming, and we like research like an article about it, and we're leaders in a way that we can like speak out against stuff that we are passionate about. And then there's out on the field, it's more of like teamwork and like leadership all together, but we play a lot of sports together. We play a lot of games together. There's a lot of leadership in Sacred Heart.
Awesome. What about you, Annalise? Thank you.
What Vivian was saying about how you could be a leader in the classroom, when we were in art, we were doing like a cause kind of a project, and it was a collage about a cause you want to do. So I did diabetes to bring aware to that you can also be a leader with that. And like just doing the right thing could be a leader. If like someone else is like fooling around, you could just listen to what the teacher is saying and try to like influence the other girls to listen.
Well said. Awesome. Thank you, Annalise. What about you, Grace?
Like another way you could be a leader is like after school, like when we have sports, like I play soccer, and like there's kind of like when we do like scrimmages and when we like play against each other, like there's like an opportunity for like leadership there, because like the coach can like say that like you can choose like people's positions, but you like a way that you can be a leader is like if you wanted to be like one of like the midfielders, but a ton of other people wanted to, you could choose them to be the midfielders, but
Mm,
they would get a chance.
that's a great example of leadership, giving other people a chance with for a cool position like that. That's awesome. Yeah, Catherine.
And if like people have like arguments or something, or if like someone's being mean, you could like being a leader is to like just tell them that they're being mean and like step up and tell them like and so that they could like realize, because some people don't realize when they're not being kind.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Mr. Olson, do you want to start talking about academics? Thank you so much, ladies. I loved hearing your responses.
Awesome. Thanks, Mrs. Wyman. I'm going to jump right in. And I want to go backwards for a sec. Hazel, so you ran for president. You said 9 girls ran for president. That seems pretty remarkable to me that 9 girls are out there. 42 girls ran for student council, but 9 ran for president. And it's a very public election. Was there any weirdness between the 9 candidates?
No, actually, not whatsoever. Like the day that we got the results and like the winner was announced, like I know that everyone was texting each other like, "Oh, you won! Congrats! Like you're gonna be such a good president." And like I know that some people even like we kind of like compiled a list and we were like, "These are things that we wanted to add to the student council," and like you can use like we like contributed to everything. And like because we're a team, like as much as a leader has the top position, it's like it's never like one over the other. Like we're all leaders, and just like by running, you're like a leader, like you're willing to. And I think that the teamwork aspect, like kind of what Vivi said, the teamwork aspect just like makes everyone a leader. Like if you're willing to like be part of this like big community.
And Hazel, will you share your, I'm sorry, Mr. Olson, Hazel, will you share your idea that so many people have loved and really resonated with so many people that you and I've heard from?
Yeah, so my idea for student council, but besides a bunch of like causes that I'm really passionate about and like some games that I wanted to do, I also had I'm like a big supporter of self-love, and it's something that's like so needed in the world right now. A lot of us like seeing this is like a big misconception of seeing like of the differences of people and how like others like beauty wise like are superior to other people. And that's the thing about Sacred Heart, is that we express our differences, and our differences is what makes us beautiful. And how I think that we just all need like the self-love, and if we have love from others and spread love, it's easier to love yourself, and it's just so important.
Can't say much better than that, Hazel. It seems like our country could take a couple lessons from the Sacred Heart mission. All right, everybody ready? We're going to talk about academics. I want everybody to think for 3 seconds. What's your favorite class this year? Annalise, favorite class?
It's really hard, but I either like history or English.
Awesome. Vivian, favorite class?
Math with Miss Greer.
Awesome. Catherine, favorite class?
English with Miss Monahan.
Cool. Grace, favorite class?
History with Mrs. DePeter.
Awesome. Hazel, what's your favorite class this year?
History with Miss McCoy or math with Mr. P.
Beautiful. We got this nice diversity of all sorts of different favorite classes out there. And we keep talking to potential families that are considering Sacred Heart about us being a student-centered school. And girls, I don't know if you know what that means, but the idea is that you're going to go to class and you're going to be actively involved. You're not going to be like passively sit there and let the teacher just talk away the whole time, or you're not going to watch your teacher do math. You're going to go to math class, you're going to be a mathematician, you're going to be a historian in history class, etc. Think about some really interesting unit that you studied, project that you did, or something you're really enjoying this year where you have been involved in doing interesting stuff, or it could be from a previous year. Raise your hand when you got something you want to talk about. All right, Grace, what is it?
So when we were doing history, we were learning about like archaeologists and like historians. So we did a project where Mrs. DePeter and like the other classes did it too. Like, she would she would have a ton of bags of like sand, and she would put stuff inside, and you would have to like pick it up. Would have to like try and find it in the sand and like dust it off. And like, even though it wasn't like stuff from like a while ago, like you would have to pretend like it was like really rare, and you would have to like write about it.
Awesome. And did you use that to try and make predictions about the people that lived in that time based on what you found?
Yeah. Like we had to write about like what we think it was used for.
All right, Grace, the archaeologist, really cool. Catherine.
In Spanish, we're doing a project right now, which is about like an ofrenda for a famous person we picked out of a hat, and like everyone's really involved in it, and like we get to do it like by ourselves, and I think we're gonna be presenting it, and like usually every time we have homework in that same class, we present it and we airplay our screen, and we get to talk, and we really get to like talk about our work and what we did.
Catherine, tell us what an ofrenda is, and tell us what
Oh.
person you chose.
So an ofrenda is basically a table, and it's a day for La Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. And it's basically a person who like that they celebrate in Mexico, and people who died and that they want to remember. So they put like personal things on a table, and they have like orange flowers and like this like special bread they eat and all these different things. And yeah.
Awesome. Catherine, did you take Spanish before you came to Sacred Heart?
No, but
How's it going?
my mom went when she was in college. She spent a year in Spain, so she knows like a lot. And we had an old cleaning lady who was Spanish, so that we mostly spoke Spanish in our house. But now she left, so I'm like learning more and more.
Awesome. And that's a little good segue into our network exchange program. So it's a little different this year because of COVID, but in 8th grade, you get to travel to one of the Sacred Heart schools. We have 24 Sacred Heart schools in North America. You get to spend a week at one of these Sacred Heart schools if you want to. And then sophomore year in high school, we have schools in 44 different countries around the world. So you can do, I think, up to a 6-week exchange with any of these schools around the world to really get that global perspective. Who else wants to share something interesting about? All right, Annalise, talk to us.
So in history, we were doing a presentation on Vikings, and I really liked making the presentation with Riley, my classmate, and it's really fun, like finding all the facts and like adding little videos and pictures, and like it was really fun.
Awesome. And Annalise, you said you made a presentation. So what did that look like?
Well, like we did it. We sent it. First we airplayed it, and we waited for everyone to like stay quiet, and then we each took turns writing each thing. Reading.
Very cool. Hazel, talk. What's up?
Like Vivi said, the current events, you kind of touched on it. In history, we're doing the same thing as science. You pick an event that you like want to research, and I picked immigration and like how like the benefits and like kind of the controversy of immigration and all of that, because it's something I'm passionate about. Having my family, like I'm the first generation immigrant, so and so I researched immigration, and we do a current events presentation. And it's a U.S. history class, so we have to relate it to something in history. And it's like that's a really big opportunity to branch out, and you're not like forced to do something. It's more of like a big, like a broad topic, and then you have to like pick what you're interested in.
That's great. And Hazel, you also made a presentation to the entire middle school for Hispanic Heritage Month, right?
Yeah.
All right, Hazel, during your 4 years in the middle school, how many times do you think you've given a presentation or done public speaking?
I think I do a presentation like every month. Yeah.
So a lot. Does it freak you out at all, or is it
No,
easy?
it's you get it with practice, and I really love public speaking, so that's my thing.
Great. Vivian, how about you?
Lunch is happening right now, so there's a lot of girls talking. But I think touching on the current events that Hazel was talking about, and it's really interesting that we do that because the Miss McCoy is trying to show us that like nothing ever happens to just happen. History is always repeating itself, which I thought was really interesting. It's cool how the teachers like set up their curriculum. So it's really interesting.
Awesome. Thanks, Vivian. Hey, another question related to academics. Tell us about a time when you were really challenged academically and either you worked through it on your own or you worked with your teacher to get through the challenge. Anybody have an example of that? Vivian.
Last year was my first year, so at public school we never really did a lot of presentations, like big ones that count, like have a big grade, I guess. And it was my first current events, and I had no idea what I was going to do it on. And Miss Bridges helped me like find an article so that I could research it, and then I started making a speech, and then I connected slides with it, and I was terrified when I like went up there to do it. My paper was shaking, but now I've done like so many presentations. I've grown from that experience, and like it's easier for me to public speaking. Yeah. So
Awesome.
that's, yeah.
The teacher helped you through it and you got better at it because you kept practicing, you kept working hard. Beautiful. Anybody else want to share some challenge they had and how they got through it? Annalise.
So in Spanish, I was having a hard time with the conjugations, and Senora Vale, she like told me to go to this other Spanish teacher who's on, I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Agrelo.
Yes, and like she helped me with the conjugation. She helped me like write it down and try remembering it. And now I'm doing better, but like I still need her help. But like still, I'm doing much better than before.
Great. Annalise, did you learn Spanish at Julian Curtis?
I did,
Awesome.
but it was like we weren't doing a lot. It was like doing the same thing over and over again, and it was like a little bit easy.
Okay. Hey, I want to bounce over to Hazel for a sec. Hazel, are you taking Spanish?
I'm not.
What language? Oh, you're taking Chinese, aren't you?
Chinese. I speak fluent Spanish.
Awesome. So you're taking Chinese. How much do you speak in Chinese class in English?
Well, no, we don't speak like any. We're not supposed to. And it's like we just try to. I know like my best friend and I take Chinese, and it's the only class we have together. And though it's hard, like we have to, like we try to practice like out of school, like try to have a conversation like on the phone to like practice Chinese.
Awesome. We got a chance for one more person to share some challenge that they've had and how they overcame it. Catherine.
So today, in Spanish class, when we were writing a paragraph that we could like talk about what for our project, and I had a little bit of research that we incorporated in our paragraph and about our person. So I did Celia Cruz, and so like and I said like about her like salsa dancing skills, like that's what she was like famous for in her singing. But Senora Marvin, my Spanish teacher, she thought I needed a little bit more to like incorporate like what she like really did. So she helped me, and And she told me to go back and research a little bit more. So I researched a little bit more and I found a bunch of different things. Like she did a bunch of crazy costumes, and she helped build a community and create salsa dancing.
Beautiful. All right, give me a thumbs up if your teachers are nice and helpful. Good answer. All right, last question. Now, think about, you are applying to Sacred Heart brand new, and you're applying to some other schools. What's the reason why someone should choose Sacred Heart? Annalise, what's the reason? One sentence.
Because it's a really big community and really kind and welcoming.
Kind and welcoming community. Awesome. One sentence. Who's got it? Catherine.
They feel like sisters, and it's just amazing.
Awesome. Perfect. Hazel.
It's a home away from home that will always help you.
Beautiful. Grace.
Like on the first day when you come, it's really welcoming and it feels like you've been there forever.
Cool. Vivian, how about you?
It's a place where we grow and we learn together, and everything is accepted and supported.
Sweet. Perfect. All right, Mrs. King, I want to just say thank you to these girls. Just tremendous. We're so proud of you and so thankful you're with us here at Sacred Heart. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Olson. Thank you, Mrs. Weinman. Thank you, girls. This is just a small segment of our student population. This is what life is like at Sacred Heart. I think I may leave my desk and go re-enroll in the middle school myself, because you girls just are having such a fabulous experience. And so we are delighted that all of our prospective families were able to spend some time with our students this morning. I hope this gave you and your daughters, if they were able to join you on this call, a further insight into our Sacred Heart community. We will continue to provide opportunities for your family to get to know our faculty, our staff, our students, and explore all different aspects of the Sacred Heart program throughout the admissions season. So while today's program really focused on our students and our student experience, which is such an important piece of what it means to be a part of the Sacred Heart community, please feel free to drop into our noontime knowledge session next Wednesday, November 11th at noon, for conversation and a question and answer session with Mr. Olson. So if one of our students said something today that really kind of jogged your interest, or that you want to know more about, Mr. Olson will be there to answer your questions from noon to 1 in our virtual admission office next week. Please don't hesitate to contact the admission office at any time with any questions, or to connect with one of our parent ambassadors or one of our student ambassadors. We're here to help. We want to help facilitate those connections and really help you get to know Sacred Heart. So thank you for joining us today. We were delighted that you could spend the past 45 minutes or so with us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.